never get this. Why is it so many of the time the golden sphere tries to say it's 25% of another race makes you mixed? You are going off of that. But two things that don't make sense. One, your logic is the idea that it's one grandparent that's of another race makes you mixed. Well, if you have one grandparent that is of another race, that's white or Asian or whatever race, you might only be 18%. You might be as much as 32%. But you thought that everybody got 25% of a grandparent, didn't you? You didn't really have enough education to understand how this thing works. And a lot of you don't have a lot of an education because you will think things that are crazy. Like you think light skin means mixed race. Or, you think certain phenotypes mean more black ancestry. Because you have a slave mentality, because you're ignorant, because you are low class, because you weren't able to comprehend much. Maybe you have a low IQ. But I don't know what it is, but obviously 25% isn't going to cut it when grandparents can only give you 18% of their ancestry, or even more to 32%. This is why Black Americans range. We range around the 18 to 32% range, basically. And if you add recombination into that, it goes all the way up to 15%. This is why I always say a griff, which is somebody who has one non-Black grandparent, basically, is anything from 15 to 35% non-African ancestry. This basically shows that. That's what I've been trying to tell you. The 70% range, all of the 70% range is griff territory, whether it's over 70% or less than 75%. That means people who are 80% Black or 70% Black or 81% Black or 69% Black all could possibly have a grandparent that is of another race. And generationally, that's most likely what happened with most Black Americans. If you look at it, basically they're a combination of griffs multi-generationally. This is why also our percentages range too. But I guess it would show, I guess that explains why many Black Americans will range 70 to 100%. Now, some of us range 50 to 100% too, like myself, but my mother ranges 70 to 100%. So that would kind of mean a combination of griffs. Anyway, that's a whole different story. But my point is just that, most Black Americans are going to fall in the griff category. That's going to include Don Cheadle. That's going to include people like Chris Rock. It's going to include a lot of different types of people who are about 80%, 81% African, because you can inherit as little as 18% European from a white grandparent. And if you looked in their history, you probably would see that basically 3/4 of their ancestors are Black and 1/4 are white. So they would be griffs too. I know you don't want to include a dark skin, but you have to understand dark skins and light skins are not genetically different. And so that's why you have dark skin, supposed unambiguous Black people who are griffs. And the majority of Black Americans are dark-skinned Black and unambiguous looking Black people who fit the griff category. Because if you think of it, 3 out of 4 times you're going to look Black because that's what you mostly are. It's kind of obvious. You guys just aren't smart. And I think another problem you're having is many of you biracials want your kids to not be Black while having kids with Black people. which is dumb as fuck because you're seen as black yourself because you really don't look any different from black people. So, I mean, like, trying to have kids with black people, of course the kids are black. You don't look much different from a black person starting off, and then you want to have a kid with a black person and then want that kid not to be black. Like, you dumb as fuck. If you don't want a black kid, try and have kids with somebody else so your kid doesn't get mistaken for black because your kid is black because you look black. You know, if you want to get away from blackness, get away from blackness. But no, you don't want to, so then embrace it. Either embrace it or don't embrace it. It's your life. Do what you want to do with it. But seriously, trying to embrace it, but then try and not claim it, and try and claim you're not black and your kids aren't black when your kids are just as black Americans are black because Griffs are black. Or if they're not, then black Americans aren't black. You know, you can't split this off. You can't. You can't split it off, sweetie. A Griff is everything between 65 and 85% black. You people in the golden sphere are basically including black Americans as mixed. Technically, if we look at history, Griffs and Socotra were included in the population, and people considered Socotra's mixed race, which means basically everyone who is black American is mixed, even Whoopi Goldberg at this point. Because it would be basically, for those people to inherit from a great-grandparent, that would be 4%, basically. So every black American basically has that amount of percentage. But that's all I have to say. You know, it's a stupid argument to try and raise the amount of African ancestry you can have as a mixed person. But that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.